Hi guys, thank you very much for joining me today when I talk about something that I think is a little bit of a taboo subject really, and that is cancer. Now, I think when we hear the word cancer, we immediately think, I'm gonna die. That's kind of the main thing that I think people hear when they find they've been diagnosed with cancer. But what I want to talk to you about today is a cancer that I was diagnosed with and successfully treated, and it's now gone, the cancer has gone away, and really to pass the message on that not all cancers are fatal. There's lots of different types of cancers out there. There's a lot of treatment. I was debating for ages whether to do this video because I think whenever you lay yourself on the line like this, it's quite nerve-wracking, and obviously this is something that I've gone through, so it's a bit kind of nerve-wracking to talk to you guys about. But the reason I've decided to do the video is because there's a message behind it that, you know, you need to be aware of your body and changes in your body, and if you see anything that is a little bit untoward or unusual, to go to the doctor immediately, because in a lot of cases early detection means it can be successfully treated. So the other thing I just want to say is, if you have something wrong with you and you're too scared to go to the doctor, just go to the doctor, because no matter what it is, you've already got it, and all the doctor's going to do is tell you how it can be treated or what is going to happen next. If you leave it and put your head in the sand and try and pretend like there's nothing happening, it can get worse and worse and worse, and can mean that it's not treatable, or that the treatment is worse than the treatment would have been. So for example, you could have been given a cream, but you've left it now, so you might have to have some surgery or something, I don't know. So the reason I'm doing this video is to get the message out there that there's some very, very common types of cancer that are very easily treated, and I'd rather you guys were aware of them, because you need to get checked if you suspect there's something wrong. So I also just want to obviously say I am in no way a medical professional, no way whatsoever. I don't have any training, I have no cancer training, nothing like that at all. It's my own personal experience. I'm going to link some websites below, so if you guys have concerns about anything, you can go and check it out. Obviously the information I'm giving you here today, I'm hoping it's accurate, I'm giving it from my perspective, but what I'm saying is please don't use this as any kind of medical advice whatsoever. If you've got any queries or problems or any concerns, go straight to your doctor, please. I also just want to say that I'm not making this video to make light of cancer at all. My mum passed away of lung cancer 2.5 years ago now, and it was the most horrendously heartbreaking and devastating experience of my entire life. So I've seen firsthand what cancer can do and how bad it can be, so trust me, I'm not making this video in any way whatsoever to make light of cancer or to make it seem like it's not a very, very serious illness, because it absolutely 100% is. It's utterly terrifying, and I know that. What this video is to kind of just shed some light on a different type of cancer that you may not be aware of, and to make you aware to check your skin to see if there's any signs of change, and if there are, to go straight to the doctor. So I was diagnosed with a basal cell carcinoma. Now this is the most common form of skin cancer in the UK. It accounts for about 80% of all UK skin cancers. Its shortened form name is BCC, and it's also known as a rodent ulcer, which makes it sound particularly disgusting. But it's a skin cancer that's on your skin. It doesn't metastasize, it doesn't go into your body, it doesn't spread anywhere else. There are two types of skin cancer. One is melanoma and one is non-melanoma, and BCC is a non-melanoma form of skin cancer. It's not hereditary except for in a very, very small, rare strain of cases. If someone you know, if your mum or dad have it or whatever, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have it. It normally is caused by sun damage, skin damage caused by the sun. So we all know, wear sun cream, wear sunblock, protect yourself when you're out in the sun. Apparently it happens more in men than in women, but I've got it, so anyone can get it, I suppose. And also it normally happens in places that have more exposure to the sun, so your head, your shoulders, your arms. But I got mine at the base of my spine, so again it just shows you it can kind of pop up anywhere really. Obviously if you're fair like me, then you're more prone to it because you're more prone to getting sunburned and having some skin damage caused by the sun. It can also happen when you've got some damaged skin, so if you've had a burn or a scar where the skin tissue is a lot thinner and finer, that can also develop basal cell carcinomas. So anything that you see on your body that's unusual, just go straight to the doctor, is the main message. Now, when I was diagnosed with my basal cell carcinoma, to be honest, I wasn't that scared at all actually. In fact, I took it quite calmly, and I think the lady who diagnosed me, who was a BCC clinic, she was a specialist in BCC, I think she was quite shocked by how I took it really. But the main reason I took it so well is because some people very close to me have had these before, so I know exactly what they were about and I knew they were treatable. So when she said the word cancer, I wasn't like, oh my god, you know, utterly terrified like I probably would have been. And that's another reason for me doing this video. So if any of you guys, you know, are unfortunate enough to have one of these in the future, that hopefully you remember this video and remember that actually it's going to be okay, that just because you hear the word cancer, it does not mean you are going to die or that something horrendous is going to happen to you. Someone who's very close to me had one on the head just over here. That one was removed surgically, so it was cut out, stitched up, fine, no problems. Then someone else close to me had one on the chest area. Again, that one was actually cut out and removed. They also had a squamous cell skin cancer on their chest here, and again that was just cut out and removed with no need for further chemo or radiotherapy or anything like that at all. Just snip snip, cut out, and it's gone. Ways to detect whether you have one of these is if you have any kind of lump or bump or spot or mole or anything on any part of your body that itches, it's raised, it feels a little bit crusty, it can bleed every now and again, and then doesn't quite heal properly. For me, the main reason I discovered it was because it was itchy, like really itchy all the time. So what I did was, because obviously mine was in the base of my spine, and I got my husband to take a photograph of it for me so I could see what it looked like, because obviously I just couldn't see it properly, so I had no idea what I was dealing with. And what I asked him to do is like put his finger next to it so I could see how big it was. And this is a huge thing that we should all be doing anyway, especially on our backs where we can't see very often. Once a year or a couple of times a year, get your partner or your mum or your dad or whoever to put a ruler on your back and take a photo. If you've got a lot of moles and freckles and stuff on your back, which I do, so put a ruler on your back and take a picture, and then 3, 4, 5, 6 months down the line, do it again, and compare the photos, because then you can very easily and quickly see if anything is changing. Because the biggest sign that something fishy is going on is if some mark on your body changes shape, changes the way it's behaving, changes colour, any change at all, go to the doctor, because it could be nothing, but it could be something. So because I knew 2 people really close to me who'd already had a BCC, when I was told I had a BCC, to be honest, I wasn't scared at all. I knew that it was a topical skin cancer, that it didn't spread, that it was non-melanoma, it didn't metastasize, it wouldn't spread anywhere else in my body, and that it was easily treatable. So the way my BCC specialist described it to me is the kind of treatment they dictate depends on the type of BCC that you have. Now obviously cancer is a very complex subject, and BCCs can take all different forms as well. They can be very superficial, or they can be quite more complex as well. The lady I saw, she drew this picture and she said this is the top layer of the skin, and then the layers of the skin go down, and the BCC I had, she thought was literally just on the surface and it didn't go penetrate into the layers of my skin. And then other BCCs, if they are more complex, they penetrate a little bit further down. So the ones that penetrate further down, you can really only get rid of them by cutting them out, because obviously you've got to cut out all of that sort of damaged skin and a little bit of skin around it, and then sew it all together so that everything comes out. What she said to me was I had 2 choices. I could either go straight away and just have it cut out and removed. She said that doing a biopsy would only confirm that it was a BCC. It wouldn't confirm whether it was superficial or it went any deeper. So the options were either to go and get it cut out straight away or to try and treat it with a cream. Now, she said to me that most people prefer the cut out option, because I think when you hear you've got cancer and they say we can cut it out and get rid of it, that's the option you want to take, because you just want to cut it out and get rid of it and get it over and done with. But because of where it was in the base of my spine, I've had a mole removed from my back a few years ago, and your back does carry all of your body weight, and having something taken off your back is actually quite painful. So what she said to me was, if we treat it with the cream first and it doesn't go away or cure from the cream, then we can cut it out. But so we can either cut it out straight away or try the cream. If the cream worked, fantastic, that's it, I'd be done. Or if the cream didn't work, we'd just have to cut it out anyway. So I thought actually the cream seemed like the less invasive option for me, and that's the option I went for. So the cream I got was called Epidix. So it was a little tiny cream, it came in a very small vial. This treatment, the cream treatment, is a type of chemotherapy, but obviously it's like topical, so you don't go and get injections or anything like that, or intravenous injections or anything. It's just a cream. But what it does, it stops the cancer cells from working properly, so the cancer cells die off essentially and don't get better, don't reproduce DNA, and so don't keep being there essentially. A basal cell carcinoma as well, it's also just worth noting that if you did leave it, it's not going to kill you, but it can get bigger. So while it can't spread from like there and then suddenly one appears there, if left for a long period of time, it would spread out to the surrounding tissue and grow. So for example, the person I know who had one here, if he was like 90 years old, they probably wouldn't have cut it out, but because he was relatively young, if they'd have left it, it would have spread and just been harder to remove. So that's the main reason for getting it cut out and getting it taken off or getting it treated, is because if left untreated, it can become more complex, it can get bigger, and then actually treatment can become a bit more complicated. So like with anything, you're better off just going, getting it checked and getting it treated straight away. I mean, mine was so small, it was like that. It was really tiny, so it was actually really easy and straightforward to treat. So the cream is literally several cycles of 3 to 4 weeks each, so it's a bit of a commitment really, and when it's on the base of your spine, let me tell you, it's quite hard to get the cream exactly onto the actual place it's meant to be. So I've got some photos of how mine looked when it was treated. So what I did was, obviously because I couldn't see it, but I recommend you do this anyway, is throughout the treatment I took a photo once a week. I think it was every Sunday I asked my husband to take a photo of it to see what it looked like, and then I thought I would take it to the BCC clinic and show them the results of the treatment that I'd had. I think the treatment was, it was about 9 weeks long. So I think I've got 3 different vials of the cream, and in between each vial I was allowed to have a couple of days off, I think, if I remember correctly. I had to use it every single day though, and if the skin got too irritated, I could have 1 day off here and there, she said, but the more you treat it every single day, the better. So I'm going to put some photos of how mine looked during the treatment. If you're a little bit squeamish, look away now. Obviously it does turn into a bit of an open sore. It doesn't look that nice, obviously, so just be warned. It's not that pretty. In terms of what happened during the treatment, when I started putting the cream on, nothing at all. And then for me, what happened with my treatment, and as I say, this is all my experience, my treatment, what happened with me is I put it on. After the first week, it sort of turned into an open sore, but very quickly it scabbed over. And that scab grew bigger and bigger and kind of went in. So like the scab was like inverted. It kind of went into my skin like that. So it became like this inverted thing. It was quite difficult because at the base of my spine, you know, it was where a lot of my clothes were, but I didn't put a plaster or anything over it. I just left it open and was just a bit careful about it. I didn't pull the scab. I didn't touch it other than to put the cream on. The only effect was that it itched. Oh my God, it itched so badly, but I did not scratch it once because I was worried about pulling the scab off. I don't like the idea of pulling scabs off, it makes me feel a bit queasy. But in my opinion, if the scab is staying there, it's there for a reason and it's protecting the healing that's happening underneath the skin. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but that's my theory, so I don't pick off scabs. So I just kept applying this lotion on top of this scab, but it drank it in and the lotion kind of absorbed into my skin. So obviously it worked. So yes, I took a photo once a week. Then I think 9 weeks went by and then I had to wait another month, I think it was, before I could actually go back to the BCC clinic because it had to have time to heal for her to be able to see whether it had actually worked. And I think what she said to me was, if when I went back there was still a little bit of a red mark but you couldn't feel it, it had worked. If it was obviously still an open sore, then it hadn't worked, or if it was still crusty, then it hadn't worked, and then I would have just had to have it cut out. But as it happened, I was really fortunate that when I went back, I showed her all my photos. She said it reacted exactly the way it should have done. She checked it out, had a proper look at it, and actually said, that's it, it's gone, you've treated it effectively. So I didn't have to have it cut out in the end. So for me, using that cream really worked, but obviously take the advice of your GP or the BCC specialist, whoever you see. Obviously I was able to have that cream treatment cream treatment because mine was a superficial BCC. The most common form of treatment is to have it surgically removed. It's local anaesthetic, they cut the BCC away and a bit of the surrounding tissue and then put a couple of stitches in. It can also be scraped away and then the skin sealed with heat. There's a few other treatments as well, but I think the most common actually is that they cut it out. The main thing to remember, guys, is that if you do spot anything fishy or anything wrong on your body or whatever, just go straight to the doctor, because it might be nothing. If it's a basal cell carcinoma, the quicker you get it, the smaller it is, the easier it will be to treat. Either they'll just cut it out really quickly or you can get treatment with that cream. So that was really it, guys. I just wanted to share that with you because if you ever hear the words BCC or basal cell carcinoma, now hopefully you'll remember what it is. You won't be really terrified by it. You'll know that it's something that's treatable. I've had it, it's incredibly common. Like I said, it accounts for 80% of skin cancers here in the UK, so it's very common. Probably somebody you know has had one and had one removed, let's put it that way. Obviously, please guys, be sun safe, wear a hat, wear sun cream, especially as women, we should always wear sun cream on our faces anyway. There are all sorts of things we can obviously do to help keep our skin healthy and prevent skin cancer from occurring. There are obviously other types of skin cancers that are melanoma skin cancers that are much more serious than what I'm talking about today. So please, if you do notice any changes on anything on your body, please go straight to your doctor. Please do, don't delay, don't be scared. Just go straight to the doctor, face it head on and get it sorted out, guys. Please. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have anything you would like to add or anything you would like to share, please do so in the comments. I always reply to all of the comments that I receive. So yeah, guys, just let me know like what you thought of this video. Was it helpful? Was it not? I don't know, let me know. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye!